Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Christopher Roberts, and I'm going to talk today about resumes, specifically how it pertains to the military community. I'm going to use the terms Marine Corps a lot because that's what I am. But if you want to transition this to your specific service, then just use your uh, your data sources in place of the ones that I'm speaking to today. So the first thing I'll say that is if you're waiting for TRS to help you build a resume, which means you're about what 6 to 18 or 12 to 18 months out of getting out, or right before you're about to get out. You're too late. That is not the right time to start building a resume. A resume needs to be a living, breathing, working document, right? And I'm going to show you exactly where I made mistakes and what you can do to kind of work through some of those mistakes, but I also did some things right, and I'll explain those to you as well. The next thing is college and certs are more than a piece of paper. And why are they more than a piece of paper? Because when you sit down with a hiring team or a technical advisor, or when you submit your resume, most companies are going to use a resume scanner, and that scanner is going to pull out key terms and words. So you can argue with your peers or talk to your leadership or whatever you want about how a resume is just a piece of, or certs in college are just pieces of paper and they don't mean anything. But at the end of the day, you're not going to beat the scanner unless you put something down that you're claiming that you're not that you don't actually have. So it is important that you show that progression within your field with your college or your certifications, also your experience. But you want the college and certifications as well, because that's going to set you out above the other individuals that are being interviewed or being looked at. So on the screen here, I have a uh, what's called a MROW, a Marine Reported On worksheet, right? So this is specifically what I've built out for my for a couple of billets that I've performed within the military. So from certain date to certain date, right? One of them is relevant to my specific military occupational specialty, which is 0639 networking, and then the other one is a position that I held at our formal school for training. So why am I showing you both of these? Because both of them are relevant in their own little ways, right? The best way I've found to start a resume, if you're planning on building that resume as a living, breathing document, is that you get a template and you copy and paste all of these major accomplishments, right, during the period uh, in your resume with the specific dates of when and where. That is not your resume. That is your rough draft template. Okay. I want to say that again. That is not your resume. That is your rough draft template, because you're going to no one's going to understand what a forward site chief is when you're talking about getting out and applying for a job, right? That's not what I was, right? Maybe I put I was a supervisor, or maybe I put that I was a network engineer, right? You replace those terms with terms that make sense for the specific, or that makes sense for the outside world that you're applying your job to, because nobody cares about, most people don't care about awards or anything like that that are military specific. So they're not going to care about the military jargon either. So you're going to have to translate that. And that's where I can help you, right? So you take this, you copy and paste those fit rep bullets, or the major accomplishments during the period, and then you use that to build your resume. So I started this resume. I started my resume. This one I built in 2019. So I had been in the Marine Corps for about 15 years. I waited too long, right? Just like I said, everyone waits too long. As soon as you get in, you need to have a living, breathing document, and you get in and get settled. Maybe the first 2 or 3 years, you need to have a living, breathing document that is your resume. My certifications specifically, I listed those. I listed my education. I believe I got this from one of my friends, and I just kind of modified it with my information, which helped out. So this is my absolute resume minus the header removed. I ended up copying and pasting a lot of information, or actually translating it over from my fitness report, if you see it here with the work experience. So now let's go to the next page. And this is the resume that I've been using up until about December of 2021, right? I just changed it. But here's the additional information. This right here is money, because when I post this, when I upload these resumes to LinkedIn or whatever, I share them, people are going to scan that and they're going to search for that. I can't tell you how many times I've got an email or a phone call from someone that says, "Hey, I came across your profile on LinkedIn, or I came across your resume on Clearance Jobs, and you're the one we're looking for." I know for a fact that they weren't just looking around everybody's specific resumes trying to find the right one. I know they were probably scanning the metrics and pulling the information they needed to pull, and then validating that against what they saw. But this is up until December of 2021, and if you realize, I still have this additional information here that I've made from my fitness report, but I've also modified it. I have since decided that I don't necessarily want to be uh, any of this stuff, so I mostly put my experience as an adjunct professor on there and my certifications, because I think that's very important. And if you see this, apparently I put in some stuff that's a little bit old, so my apologies for that. Now this is what I've built out. The most recent one that I think I did, last week, which is around January 8th of 2022. This has my email, it has my LinkedIn profile, and it has all of the information that I need. The reason I did this is because I noticed that this was getting kind of full, and I wanted to remove this guy right here so I could take advantage of this full area here. So that's exactly what I did. I still have this information here. Most most organizations, I expect them to look at, once they do the scanning, I expect them to read this, maybe look at some of this. I don't expect them to get to the second page because they're too busy trying to fill positions, right? But if they do, they'll see that I have additional information that's further amplifying to help them out. And then lastly, this is my reference list. I don't have anything listed in here for privacy concerns for the people who are nice enough to offer me their references. But this is the header of the actual reference list that I use. You want this. You want your leadership. You want to say, hey, look, can I use you as a reference in the future? So on and so forth. And that will help you out. I have some of my professors from college. I have some of my leadership that I really respect and that would speak highly of me, or I hope they would. I have those people that are on there to kind of help me out. And then finally, I want to hit up one more thing before I jump off here. If I can get to my LinkedIn. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile, right? I maintain this like all the time. If I get a certification, it's a pain, but I schedule it out and I go ahead and load that certification the within LinkedIn. So a few things. I have 500 plus connections, which I've been told is a good thing. There's something that happens after 500 plus connections, so you want to get as many connections as you can that are relevant, right? I am open to work, even though I'm active duty military. That's a private matter that I could discuss a little later. But so I have all of this information that I see. I wrote a article that I featured, which I wrote that a while ago, so I probably need to rewrite it or write another one. And here's my about. All this information, I literally copied and pasted it from my resume. Uh, this information here, and I think I even uploaded it in some senses. This information here, I copied and pasted it from my resume because Now, more often, many companies, you can actually just link your LinkedIn to upload as a resume, and that helps. And then they'll just use that to validate your credentials. My education is here, and then my certifications. I was doing LinkedIn learning for a while, and whenever I got a badge for some other for some other thing that I took, like watching videos or something, I would upload that. But I kind of got away from that because I ended up getting a lot of certifications, which I strongly recommend. But if you don't, you can always do what I did. Start out with like LinkedIn Learning or A Cloud Guru, CBT Nuggets, O'Reilly Books, whatever it is, and use that to kind of share the information and say, "Hey, this is what I've completed, um, and this is what I'm pursuing." All right, and then finally, I never really took skills quizzes. I probably should. And then all of my interests. I stay on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn like people are on Facebook because I don't really touch Facebook at all or other social media apps. I probably should, but I stay on LinkedIn, and that's where I manage most of my stuff. And I have found that is pretty good. Let's see. So yeah, so those are some of the recommendations that I have. If you like this video, if you have questions, please put questions in the comments and I will answer your questions because I would love to modify this video with additional information to help out whoever, for something that I've missed. But, like I said, if you're waiting until you're about to get out of the military to build your resume, it's too late. And if you're waiting to go to college and get certs after the military or right when you get out of the military, it's too late. There are special exceptions to that with individuals in the military who are super duper busy and always deployed and so on and so forth. There are ways to work around that, but if you're not in the right headspace to make that commitment, then I understand. But try to get something that's going to help you progress throughout. You don't need to do much. You can study for 30 minutes to an hour every morning, maybe 30 minutes every weekend. Whatever it is, it's going to help you become successful in the future. So thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it.